Alright, what's up? Welcome to Trash Talk Podcast once again. We got a pretty good episode planned for you today. Hope you've been enjoying this series so far because this is probably the most fun type of video that we've been doing all day because we love talking about all kinds of random shit. And we is not only myself, even though that would probably be the best for everyone involved.
We're not using the royal we.
Yeah, exactly. You might as well just start calling me a king. But
I won't, but yeah, continue.
You can start calling me a king of the ring because at 1 million subscribers, we're gonna have a cage match, and I'm gonna.
Which is not a king of the ring works. It's a tournament, but yes.
I know, but you could call me that. All right. As I said, I'm not by myself this time.
Also, in a few years, you can call me a master.
Shut up! I'm pretty much never by myself. Actually, the dude I got sitting next to me, his name is JJ, and. I'm pretty much sure y'all know how he's feeling from the couple of times you already interrupted me. But JJ, yes. Are you feeling fine today?
Yes, I am.
That's not good, but all right.
Kind of in a talking mood, which is not good. Yeah,
that's good thing though.
Yeah, but it's a bit too much talking.
We're having a podcast though. That's what happens. Like that's how a podcast works. We got some interesting topics for you today. I feel like we're saying that every episode, but it's true.
I mean. It's always interesting for us because we came up with it. If we didn't find it interesting, we wouldn't have put it in the podcast.
Yeah, that's true. But reminder though, if you got anything that you want to see or us talk about or us to do on a podcast, any type of topic, we're open to suggestions. Even though we do have a lot of stuff that we do want to talk about, we're still open to suggestions.
Yeah, very much so.
Alright, so you want to get us started in today's episode of Trash Talk?
Yes, so our first topic actually is one that I find, I'm not going to say that's very interesting again, but...
it is, though.
Yeah, but it's something that's...
We overuse that word, too.
Interesting to speculate about, and that is basically the butterfly effect, or what could have been if you inserted a minuscule change into history, and what would have happened as a consequence.
Right. So do you want to explain the butterfly effect itself, or you think that's already enough? Because... Like people will usually know what it means, but it means like the basic theorem is that could the wings of a butterfly in Brazil cause a tornado in Texas, and it means like the slightest thing that might possibly happen at some point will like gradually build up more and more, so it'll cause like huge implications in the future at some point. Yeah, that's what the butterfly effect means.
Of course, we are not going to speculate about weather patterns based upon insects or like stepping on a bug and changing history, but we're going to try to draw conclusions that are actually somewhat based upon the changes we previously made.
You could step on the caterpillar before it ever becomes a butterfly, thereby preventing a tornado happening in Texas.
Yes, but again, that's not necessarily the direction this topic should be going in.
In which tornado... just by sheer coincidence, the president dies and his vice president is completely different, and his vice president starts a nuclear war, and all of humanity is eradicated. I'm not implying anything on the current situation of American politics, by the way.
I was about to say it would be more like, they wouldn't teach evolution in schools anymore and shit like that, but... yeah.
There's a vice president there. Alright, we're not going to go into that too much, but do you have any specific historical event that you would like to cover?
I mean, there's one that's we've previously mentioned before we got on air, and that I think a lot of people have said that... Are
you running the Hitler route?
Yes. Mm-hmm. So, it's kind of a well-known one, but I think it's worth bringing up.
Yeah, that's true.
The idea that if Hitler had been accepted into art school... he probably would have never become the leader of the Nazi party and thereby never have started World War II.
Yeah, that's true. Also, another interesting one with Hitler is actually he was a soldier, World War I, yes. Right? And he was actually critically wounded in combat, and he was saved by a British soldier who could have easily just killed him or left him there to die, but he actually saved him. He carried him towards, medical supervision, saved his life, and had he not done that, had he followed his orders... which he didn't do by doing that.
Yeah. That's like, it's a good deed in theory, but the actual historical consequences, not so much.
But the dude could not have known that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? It's generally still a good deed.
Right. So, say let's go with the art school one, right?
Yes.
So say we're gonna make up hypothetical scenarios right now, so we're just shooting from the hip. We're
Yes,
not
of
gonna
course.
be like most logical, historical, whatever.
Also, we haven't prepared any of those, so again, shooting from the hip.
Exactly. So Hitler's getting accepted to art school. He never gets into politics.
Yes, but he probably won't still have that good of an art career.
Yeah, that doesn't matter.
Because that's why he wasn't in his
He's gonna be a mediocre artist.
Yes.
Do that kind of stuff.
Enough to make a living from it.
He'll never be famous.
Yes.
Basically, never be famous. Never be a politician. What happens in Germany, though?
So, first of all, he's probably never going to write that book, but that's, again, not related to that.
He's not
Although, I don't know, was it
probably
before?
not. He's gonna write art books right now.
Yeah, so,
Doesn't matter.
as always, a question that also was really interesting to me is, if Hitler hadn't been there, like, the circumstances that led to him getting into power and starting all that would have still been there.
Exactly.
Like, one of his big arguments was him being dissatisfied with the situation after the First World War,
Yes,
like,
exactly.
couldn't ally with Austria, couldn't do this, were
So
very limited.
Yeah, Germany would still be in a really bad situation historically. You know, being pretty much the feeling of being oppressed by the contract of Versailles was still there, and it may have led to other people rising to power. It may have been left wing. It might still have been right. It might have been just another Nazi leader.
So I know that he was the one that kind of made the NSDAP big in the first place, but let's just assume basically him not being there leaves a vacuum in history.
Yeah, because he was that really like polarizing type of personality that would draw the masses to that type of organization.
So who do you think out of the like higher ups in the Nazi party could have reasonably taken up that role, if anyone?
Well, first of all, Joseph Goebbels, because he was the propaganda minister.
Yeah.
And he did all the talk, and he did it as well as Hitler, and probably better. I do not know if he would have the type of strategical mind, like politically, that Hitler would have, but he definitely has the charisma, he has the character, and the talking skills to do it, and that's what counted back then. Because, you know, with the radio and everything, like finding its way into households, the communication and propaganda was absolute key. I could also see Heinrich Himmler.
Yeah.
He was more of the military guy, of course. Not exactly a people person, but I mean, he would. I don't think anyone could fill the role of Hitler just like he did. It would have taken a group of people, like a band of, like, I'm not saying it's gonna be only the people who actually ended up raising to power in the Nazi regime, because of course a lot of those were there as a result of Hitler.
Yes, of course.
But I think people like these, because other people, I can't just make up people. It's got to be people who are relevant.
Yeah, that's what I was saying though.
These guys, I could definitely see having an impact there.
So you're saying, for example, because you need a charismatic leader, if Goebbels would have been it, then the war might have ended earlier because the strategy wouldn't have been that on point, or do you think that would have not really done that much of an impact?
Possibly. I mean, I do not know. There's not too much known about what personally people like Goebbels thought about the war strategy, because he had to pretty much go along with it.
Of course.
Like, it's possible that Goebbels would not have ever like started the type of war trying to invade Russia. Just he might have been more of an isolationist, which, you know, Hitler seemed to be in the beginning. You know, when he was kind of, you know, like going into negotiations with everyone. You know, like making those deals and contracts with Russia and with Poland and Great Britain and trying to negotiate with everyone. You don't know what would have exactly happened but we're here to make up stuff, right? And we're still very close to actual history.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, because
we're still being pretty close to what actually is logical.
Also, quick side note that we should have probably put in the beginning, you know way more about history than I do.
That's true. I do know.
I mean, people would have probably noticed by now, but
because it's me talking all the time about.
Just wanted to point that out. So that's what I was always thinking, right? People saying like, if Hitler had been accepted to art school, or as you said, if he would have died previously, that would have changed a lot of things, like the whole like baby Hitler conundrum and everything. But I always thought, right, the situation was there, and as we've now extrapolated, it could have easily been a similar situation without him.
Yeah.
Of course, not exactly.
I'm gonna make up a fantasy scenario after you're done talking.
Okay. And I would have assumed that based on what you also said, that it would have either been not as effective or not as radical.
Right.
But something similar might have very well come up.
Yeah. Okay, here's what's gonna happen. Here's what happened. Here's what would have happened, right? Had Hitler become an artist, right? Germany would have been oppressed for a couple more years, by it was mainly France, because France had like all the revenge on their mind.
Yep.
For everything that Germany had done to them in the First World War, and the humiliation of that's going back to Bismarck, right? That French endured by German and Prussian hand, and that would have gone to the point where France would have annexed more and more German territories, pretty much done whatever they wanted, because Germany wasn't allowed to have a full-form military. They were very restricted. Their territory was restricted. And pretty much France and the other allies were dictating exactly what Germany was allowed to do and not to do in their territory. And in my fantasy scenario, this leads to eventually a German, rebel, might be a left wing or might be a right wing, whatever, radical, assassinating French officials, like higher ranked politicians, kind of we did see with the start of World War One with Franz Ferdinand, which is also interesting, which I might talk about that next, because there's also a butterfly effect involved there, which actually was involved there, a real one.
Yeah, that escalated quite a bit,
and that's gonna lead to World War II as well. But it's not gonna be the same, because Germany doesn't have the military power. Right? Germany has never been in negotiations with Great Britain, has never been allowed to build up their Marine Corps again like they were eventually. And you can see I majored in history, right, in high school and all that shit. Yeah. And that would ultimately lead to Germany just being erased off the world map. That would just lead to France completely running through them, because the military just couldn't hold up, and pretty much splitting up, doing to Germany what Germany would in reality ultimately do to Poland. Like splitting them up, right? This part just belongs to us now. This part belongs to Belgium for all the shit that they did to them in World War One. This part belongs to. He might do the same stuff with Austria too, Austria-Hungary, because they were kind of allies of Germany in World War One. So that's what I would think would happen. Europe would look completely different now. United States would have never gotten into a war, and the United States would have never developed nuclear weapons, because Germany would have never been allied with Japan, and Japan would have never attacked the United States of America.
That's also a big thing, nuclear weapons, and that's a big topic. So, you said World War One, and of course, as we've already extensively mentioned,
I'm not sure if you know about that specific butterfly effect.
World War Two are very much directly linked.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I would assume you were talking about the assassination, and then the carte blanche, and that basically Germany had to support Austria-Hungary.
Right, but I was talking about how the assassination happened. Right, because it happened more or less by mistake. Because the car with Franz Ferdinand in it accidentally took a wrong turn. And that's the only way they actually ran into the dude who would actually shoot him. Because there was a plot of assassinating the guy, which originally, I don't know if they, put down bombs or whatever, something, they had a plot, and it failed. And the dudes who wanted to execute him, they ran away, and tried to, have him blow him up or something like that. It failed, and the driver of the car took a wrong turn, and just so happened to get into the same street that the would-be assassin was, or one of the would-be assassins was actually hiding, located in. And the dude, he couldn't believe how lucky he got. He just pulled out his gun and shot the dude.
I don't think I've heard that before, although it might have been one of those things. I mean, it sounds very interesting, so I don't think I would have forgotten it, but
you could do
with my mind, you never know.
Yeah, you could do a reverse butterfly on that too. You could be what happened if that blooper never happened? The dude.
I mean, that would still fall in the category of the butterfly effect, but
yeah, would have never been assassinated. Yeah, of course, right. But usually when you say butterfly effect, you're talking about worse consequences at the end. Like that's kind of the consensus. That's the meta, right?
The way I just understood it was just like,
yes,
one little thing causes a big thing.
Yes, exactly.
It's usually used negatively.
It's still a butterfly effect, of course. But like there may not have been a World War One, even though it's not really accurate to describe that assassination as the cause of World War One.
I was about to say there was
a lot more backstory
really bad
to that.
Political climate around.
There was big tensions between Germany and
that was just a catalyst. Like there would have probably been something else, like a few weeks, months, maybe years down the line, they would have caused the war to start anyways.
That assassination was just a straw that breaks the camel's back.
Yeah.
But like, let's just assume that war would have never taken place. Then World War II may not have never taken place.
And said it's the way Hitler rose to power was because the Germans were dissatisfied with the Versailles Contract. Exactly. So that in turn allowed Hitler to get to power, which of course inevitably caused World War II.
Conditions were miserable in Germany back then. In the Republic, it was horrible. That's the only way people turn radical, when they really see no other way out. One
thing is for sure: if World War I didn't happen, we would definitely, even if the Second World War would have happened, we wouldn't have called it World War II because it wouldn't have been the second one.
Yeah, exactly. But it would have
probably been like the Great War.
Exactly. The Great War is actually
was what they called World War I.
World War I in Great Britain. The English call that.
Yeah, but I mean that's what I was thinking, right? Because I don't think Again, I don't know that much about history, but I wouldn't think that anyone called World War I World War I when there was just one of them, did they?
Yeah, like in between two world wars, they would say, "I remember World War I," like implying there's more to come.
Yeah, that's some bullshit.
Now we do that though because we have two of them.
Yeah,
assuming there will be more to come.
Yeah,
at some point. Not gonna be that many though. We're kind of getting into a depressed state. They're talking about. Are we gonna go on to the next stuff, or are we gonna stay with this and go to another scenario?
Do you have any other scenarios?
Like
talk about
lots of them.
Focus a lot on the world wars. Maybe it's like.
Nah, let's not stay with the world wars. You know
that's what I was saying. Maybe go somewhere else.
Yeah, we could. Let's go to America.
Okay.
Because that's kind of my expertise.
I mean,
like
America wasn't really that involved with the world wars. That's right. And we didn't talk about the American side. With the first one, not at all. With the second,
pretty much not at all.
Yeah, and with the second one, kind of at the end.
Yes, of course.
But
let's go a bit earlier though in history.
Yeah, sure.
Let's say I think I brought this up when I was talking about Andrew Jackson at one point. But what if the dude? I was gonna say, what if Andrew Jackson got shot in one of his duels and just would never been president?
Yeah.
But let's go with. But here's a little backstory, right? In the 1824 presidency election, there was 4 candidates back in the day.
I mean, there were 4 candidates in the last election, just that no one takes the third party one seriously.
Exactly, but 4 of them who were all about, actually having chances.
Yeah, I was just saying, theoretically.
Yes. And there was John Quincy Adams, who was, I think was he president before? I think he only served 1 term. It was John Quincy Adams, son of John Adams, second president of the United States. It was Andrew Jackson, and it was John C. Calhoun and another guy whose name I cannot be bothered to come up with right now. I don't care, right? John Calhoun was the other guy. So what happened is that Jackson actually won the election. He won the vote. He had the majority of the votes. But Calhoun and Adams kind of conspired against him because people were legitimately, the elite was legitimately afraid of Jackson because a guy like that had never been, that type of political power before.
Yeah.
And what they did was Calhoun agreed to give his votes, like his percentages to Adams in order to make him president, and in return Adams would make Calhoun a Secretary of State because being Secretary of State would leave you a very good chance of one day becoming president yourself back in the day. Now, President Calhoun never happened because Andrew Jackson beat Adams in the 1828 election. But say that would have never happened. Say Calhoun would have never given his votes to Adams. Like Jackson would have been president a little bit earlier. It's only 4 years, but the timeline of the United States history would have been removed dramatically because that was during the time where pioneers were still exploring the land, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, I can't make up a like. I don't want to make up a ridiculous scenario based on those 40 years, but like little things like that, I find it interesting to kind of take note of that. And you can find an infinite amount of those in history because the smallest thing needs to change. You know, like what if Caesar had never gotten to the Senate that he was supposed to be assassinated?
Yeah, I was about to say he wouldn't have been assassinated. Yeah,
he would not have been assassinated. What would it
or at least not then.
Yep.
Because I mean, that's the thing with assassinations, right? People are going to try again.
Yes, of course.
That's what happened to Hitler.
The Roman Empire
tried that multiple times.
The Roman Empire might have been, stronger than ever. It might have been. It still might be around by now.
When you mentioned America, like way back, I was thinking, what if Columbus never actually was too stupid to find India?
Yeah, of course. Like who?
That would have significantly changed the history of America.
Of course. That would have changed it, and by proxy the history of the world, because America,
yeah, of course,
turned out to be the most powerful and most influential nation of all time and in the world. Like, I should not say of all time because British Empire and shit, but most influential.
Roman Empire before that, yeah,
probably true though.
Osmanian Empire also, like, way back.
Of course. What if Columbus had never got to America? Sure. That's interesting.
Because, I mean, it would have inevitably been discovered, quote unquote, because, I mean, there were people living there.
What if there would have never been the Boston Massacre? What if Paul Revere had never organized a protest and people would have never been shot down in Boston? And the type of protest, like the resistance against the British kind of empire, would have never escalated to the point of starting a war. You know, it would have been completely... They could be colonies today, for all I know.
That would also be somewhat interesting because, as you said, America is one of the most influential nations. So, if we would assume that they were still part of the British Empire, then the British Empire would, of course, be even more powerful than America, because, of course, the combined power of America and Great Britain, so that would be huge.
Yeah, of course.
If they still had America, they might also still have some of their other colonies that they don't have anymore.
But there's so many, like, different things in history you could like, propose for that type of scenario, like with the butterfly effect. What if Oliver Cromwell had been successful in the end? You know, what if this happened? What if that happened? That would have like, we can't really imagine how that would have realistically changed the cultural history because everything could be different right now.
I think this is one of those things that we probably should at some point make a separate video about it. Actually, in advance, planning out the actual things we want to talk about and doing a bit of research on what could have happened.
Of course. Yeah, we could do that more realistically with the history side to it.
Yeah.
We could also just make a ridiculous video on the butterfly effect if we want to.
I mean, we can do both if we want to. We can do whatever the fuck we want. It's our fucking channel.
It's our channel, and you are paying for it. Are they paying?
No, they're not paying.
Are we not taking money yet?
We're not taking money. We're not mandatorily taking money to begin with.
We've been doing this. We've been doing this for a few weeks now. we need to start taking money from these people.
No.
Yes, we do.
Also,
that Patreon's coming up very soon.
Not very soon, but at some point, maybe. Who knows?
It's inevitable, but not at the moment. Don't worry.
I think for today, that's probably all we're going to talk about regarding this
we got
topic.
We got something else to go through. We're already 20 minutes down, so let's get into the halftime show, as you like to call it, right?
So, for this week's halftime show, we have prepared a segment that we're totally originally going to call Yay or Nay.
Yep, it's like yes or no, but it's yay or nay.
Actually, I think most people do call Yay or Nay.
Do they?
I think so.
I don't know. Okay, here's you want to explain what's happening? Oh my.
So we have each a list of 10 things that we have not previously talked about.
Pretty much just one phrase, one word, or whatever.
Yeah, it's like a word or a concept, and we are just gonna say yay or nay.
Yeah,
and if we disagree, we're gonna basically quickly explain our stance, but not gonna go too in depth about it.
No, we're gonna read something out. We're both gonna say our opinion on that, yay or nay. If we disagree, we're gonna give a quick comment on that. If we agree, we can do that too. But we got 20 things to go to. Would you like to start?
Yes, I would like to start.
Let's go. First thing.
So, because you previously mentioned it, I have on my list YouTube money. Yay or nay?
Yay. Don't let the people know, but yay.
Yay.
Absolutely. Okay. Winter.
Yay.
I'm going nay because I do not like it very much. I don't like when it's hot either, but this is a dirty time of year.
Yeah, but it's easier to put more clothes on than put less clothes on because there's a limit to how.
But like generally, I'm not a big fan.
But yeah, I'd rather put on a good jacket instead of sweating my ass off. Yes, next one. Spinach, yay or nay?
It would depend, but I have to answer, so I'm going to say yay. Because it's healthy as fuck for you, and when it's prepared correctly, is pretty tasty.
I'm also going to say yay.
That's crazy. Alright, Ronald Reagan.
I don't really know much about him. Yay, I guess.
I'm going to have to say nay. I mean, don't hate me or anything, but just to balance it out, you know, I'm going to say nay.
Did I mention already that I don't know too much shit about it?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So, this is something that, as our recording, was a bit more recent than by the time this is gonna go up, but, James Ellsworth unhooking the Money in the Bank women's briefcase. Yay or nay?
That's the hardest thing, man. I'm gonna say nay, because I do not like Ellsworth anymore. Also, Carmella doesn't have the briefcase anymore because she got stripped of it.
Yep.
Like right after the pay-per-view, but I'm gonna say nay, not because of, a man got the women's side less discriminatory or whatever. No, I just don't like Ellsworth.
I'm gonna say yay because it perfectly plays into Carmella's character.
Yep.
And I would say it's probably one of the best ways they could have ended the match, despite maybe what it might look like in retrospect when people don't know that much about Carmella and Ellsworth.
Problem is, though, it doesn't get Carmella and Ellsworth heat, it gets heat on the bookers. That's because...
Yeah, but it should give Carmella heat. Yeah, it fits perfectly with the character, though. Anyways,
turn,
next
right?
point.
Pistachio ice cream.
Yeah, yay.
I'm gonna absolutely say yeah. Yay, that's one of my favorite flavors I'm discovering out here. Like, I didn't even try that out until like a couple of years back, and I'm really getting into that. It's a great flavor.
So, my next thing is video games. Yay or nay?
Yay.
Yay.
Definitely. Limited, but yay. I'm not playing a lot of games, a lot of different games, but I do play a game that I really enjoy. Bow ties.
Nay.
I'm gonna go yay, and I knew that was gonna be the one where we definitely were gonna disagree on.
I love ties, don't like bow ties.
Bow ties are cool. Like, they are fun. When you have a bow tie, you're an interesting person. That's what I'm saying. Your turn.
My next point is actually one which you know my opinion already about, but coffee, yay or nay?
I'm gonna say nay. I did drink coffee, like, back in the day. I do not do it anymore.
I definitely do say yay. I love that shit.
He's an addict. I do try to stay away from caffeine as much as possible in my day-to-day life. I got a wrestling one too. WWE Money in the Bank 2011.
Overall, yay.
Absolutely yay, because it had the best match of in the history of WWE, and it was the most satisfying thing to ever watch. John Cena getting fired over CM Punk beating him in the main event of Money in the Bank, and him escaping through the crowd, escaping from Vince McMahon. That was priceless. Absolutely yay. Your turn.
Children, yay or nay?
Can you define that more? Like, just random children or having children?
I was more thinking having children, but both could apply.
I'll say yay. I know you're gonna say nay.
I'm gonna say nay.
I'm absolutely gonna say yay because I will have children at one point. Like, I provided that there will ever be a wife, of course. But if there is, that I will definitely have children, because I'm gonna tell you off the air why. Because saying it right now, that it would not be a.
I know what you're gonna say, but yeah.
All right, you're gonna tell me. All right, that's right. Cars with multiple colors.
I don't think I did say nay yet, but yeah.
I know you say.
Yeah, but I'm of course.
Cars with multiple colors.
Yay.
I gotta say yay too. Like, when it's done correctly, it looks pretty cool.
I was about to say, like, it depends on the execution, but
yeah,
if you just have like exchange parts that are not correctly colored,
you got a red car and put in like a green door from just another vehicle of the same model. That's horrible. All right, your turn again.
Oh yeah, okay. So here's one that I think I know what you're gonna say, but Windows, yay or nay?
Nay, absolutely not. I use it back in the day, but Linux has just become so much better, and it's getting better and better and better. And to me, it's like, not for corporate use, not yet, but for private use, absolutely superior. Debate's coming up.
Yeah, I'm of course saying yay to Windows,
Because he's still using
But I'm not opposed to Linux either.
Of course. Okay. Styrofoam food packaging.
That doesn't sound good.
Yeah, but that's what they do sometimes, right? That's what they got pizzas in.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yay if there's something else in between there, sure. You're not gonna put food just in there.
I'm gonna say nay, because there's gotta be better ways to isolate that shit to keep it warm. Styrofoam is a like a train wreck of a material to get rid of, and I don't like it. I don't like the material.
So, Jinder being the WWE champion.
For now, yay. If Corbin wins, even more so. By the time this video goes up, I pray to the God that I don't believe in that Corbin is already champion. If he's not, he probably should be one day. Jinder for now, yay. Better than Randy Orton.
I'm gonna say nay, although I don't disagree with the notion about Randy Orton, but there are a lot of good people currently in the WWE that I think would be better as champ. But
the money's coming in though. Alright, peanut butter.
Yay.
Yay, absolutely.
Nerds.
Yeah, sure, yay. I mean, most of my friends are nerds.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say yay, of course. I'm not a self-hating person.
Yes, you're a nerd yourself. Even though you won't say that I'm a nerd, and all of our friends won't say that I am.
Because the only thing you're really into is football and wrestling. That's sports.
Yeah, that's not
a nerdy thing.
I know, alright. I do play Madden, though. Like, that's a debate for another day, too. Madden is a video game, but it's about football. So it's a nerd thing about a jock thing, but what is it, right? So we need to get into that. Alright, speaking of football, JJ Watt, yay or nay?
Sure, yay.
Absolutely yay.
Don't know the guy, but sure.
The man's a beast.
Pokemon, yay or nay?
Nay, never play. I mean, I have no idea about it. People love it. I don't get the hype. I've never played it. That probably serves to show that everyone that I'm not a nerd. It's probably the best evidence provided there. I would say nay, because I like the hype. I got one more.
Yeah, I'm done. So for me personally, it's yay, although I'm lately not been that huge of a fan of the newer games. I think it's getting stale with the formula, but anyways, overall yay.
Electricity.
Yay.
Probably yay, because otherwise we wouldn't make any money off of YouTube in a couple of months.
Yeah. That went full circle, with YouTube money being the first.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, do you want to do, what we're going to do next? The Fact of the Week, right?
Yes.
It's Fact of the Week? Oh, I almost forgot it this time, but we're going to do the Fact of the Week next. Start up. What do you got?
So, I've got one more which you don't care about, but maybe some of the viewers do. And that is that in Doctor Who, the first time the Daleks appeared, they actually did not say exterminate at all. I think they did say like exterminated or something, some variation once, but these days it's their catchphrase, but originally they didn't say it at all.
Fucking hell. Here's my Fact of the Week. I like hedgehogs. Fact.
Gotta go fast.
I like hedgehogs.
That was a Sonic reference.
I know, but I just like hedgehogs. Have you ever looked at pictures of little hedgehogs, like baby hedgehogs?
Yeah, they're cute.
They're awesome, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna get me a pet hedgehog at one point.
Sure.
I like hedgehogs. Alright,
from all that YouTube money.
all that damn YouTube money, we invested in a hedgehog. That's gonna be our mascot. Alright. You wanna get our transition into the next segment?
Sure, so we do always each week have a segment that's called the Song of the Week as a quick one-off thing.
We always do it at the end because we're going to leave people on a high note on the bad pun.
Yeah. But this week we've actually decided to, on top of that, also make our entire second topic about music, so...
Because music is awesome, as you can see on the screen right now, bottom left corner.
Yeah, so we each individually, without really conversing about it too much, made a top 10 musical artists list. We also...
all-time favorites, but...
Yeah, we also made them from on top of our heads without looking at our playlists or anything.
So this was the hardest thing I ever done, and it's probably going to be the most embarrassing thing once we hear someone's name that we didn't even think of who we absolutely like.
Yeah, so, disclaimer, we're probably going to be missing at least someone.
Also, this list is not set in stone. This could change at any point. We're gonna go.
Half a year ago, this list would have been completely different, and I assume that in half a year there's going to be a lot of
It's gonna be everything. It's gonna be singles, artists, and bands.
Yeah, because I think it doesn't make sense to split those up into two different categories.
It would if that allowed you to have some more variety.
Yeah, sure.
There was I wrote 30 names down, and I had to cut them down to 10, and I wouldn't want to cut a single one of them.
I wrote down like 16 because I already knew some of which were sadly not gonna make it.
I'm gonna toss up some honorable mentions later, but are we gonna go like 10, 10, 9, 9?
Sure.
Alright, let's go. What's your number 10?
Cat Stevens.
Cat Stevens. I did not think he was gonna be in there, to be honest.
I mean, he just made it.
He just made it. He didn't make it.
I mean, he's number 10. So,
yeah, he didn't make it for me. It's interesting though. Like Cat Stevens has a bunch of good songs.
Yep.
But just not, the quantity is not enough, and the quality is not as outstanding as for other musicians, other bands that I would have considered him for the 10.
I just thought, I'm putting him on there.
Right. Okay, my number 10 again is right out of the way is ABBA.
Okay.
It's ABBA because I was considering the singles career of Agneta.
Yeah.
After the band split up.
Yeah, we should probably also mention that we are not going to put a singles artist.
No, we're not going to have the Beatles.
That's also in a band.
We're not going to have the Beatles and John Lennon. We're not going to have Phil Collins and Genesis on there.
Yep.
I consider them both and stuck them together because it's still a product of ABBA technically.
Yeah.
And I knew I couldn't leave them off the list, and I actually left out Guns N' Roses for this.
I actually also left out Guns N' Roses, but for me, ABBA just barely didn't make it.
Didn't make it. Okay, what's your number 9?
My number 9 is... This is also kind of a twofold thing with the band. That's Roger Hodgson / Supertramp.
Alright. I do not have any songs.
I thought so.
I didn't expect you to put that in the top 10, though.
But probably the biggest reason why he is in there is just because I also relatively recently, basically rediscovered him. I knew some of his songs, but...
Right.
So... Right now, I'm relatively hyped about him.
Yeah.
I assume that in half a year he wouldn't be on this list.
Exactly. I try to not do it that way. I try to think back. That's always happens, right? You get hyped about something and then, this best thing ever. And then a couple of months later, you find something else that's...
We should also probably, in a year or so, make another list just to see how it changed.
We're definitely going to do it again, and we're going to compare it to this one.
Again, I'm going to assume that he's going to be out by then, but yeah.
Alright, my number 9, I'm pretty sure you got those two on the list as well as Simon and Garfunkel.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure he's higher on your list.
Yeah, of course. Once I confirmed that they were on my list, considering that you knew my number 9,
yes,
he had to be higher. They
exactly,
had to be higher.
Exactly. It's the sheer quantity of songs isn't really there. There's 5 songs of them that I like.
Yep.
That I've discovered 5 or 6. There's a couple I'm on the fence about, but they're really good. They're really good.
Really goddamn good. Also, some of the best musicians of all time, probably just from vocal range and that stuff.
Absolutely.
And,
just Paul Simon and Art Garfunkel, probably the most talented guys, one of the most talented guys that's ever been in the music industry.
Yeah.
All right, number 8.
Number 8, I've got Kiss.
You got Kiss on there?
Yes, I've got Kiss on
I don't have Kiss. I didn't even consider it, to be honest, because there's 3 songs and none of them are great.
I mean, Kiss is also one of those which is you got... The top... the last few are ones where it's they could have probably substituted them for one of the bands that barely didn't make it, right. Previously I mentioned ABBA and Guns N' Roses.
You're gonna have some stuff to explain though, putting Kiss over ABBA and a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah, but for ABBA, right, I like their songs, but I feel like the Kiss songs,
there's so many good songs though.
Many of theirs.
Kiss is 3.
I still specifically Pledge Allegiance to the State of Rock and Roll. I'm really hyped about.
It's alright, but it's not great.
Some of their other songs I also think are decent at least. I don't know. I like Kiss.
Alright, my number 8 is not going to be on your list, and we already agreed on that before we actually started the podcast that our number 8s were not going to be on the list. My number 8 is Latin Quarter.
Yeah, no, that
is a low-key favorite of mine. That's not the most famous band of all time, but do yourselves a favor and check out this band, Latin Quarter. You're not going to find a lot of the stuff on the internet because it's just that niche. But if you can if you can get your hands on the CD, it's worth it, man. It's absolutely worth it. So, Nick and Caroline, let's go. Latin Quarter, great band. Great band.
While I do agree that...
Gems.
That they do produce good songs.
Really good.
They definitely didn't make my top 10. Probably wouldn't make my top 15
We should
either.
put the list in the description or something like that.
Sure, we can do that.
For us to find, yeah. Alright, number 7, right?
Yes.
Your turn.
Oh, yeah. I don't have my list ordered. Number 7, actually, you previously mentioned already, Phil Collins / Genesis.
Really? They're
Yes.
on there? Like, you left a lot of people out there that I don't
Genesis is damn good, though.
It's
Phil Collins,
yes, it's really good.
Pretty good.
But again, there's like 3 songs that I can name that I really like.
Land of Confusion,
Jesus, He Knows Me,
Jesus
and
Knows
Invisible
Me,
Touch.
Invisible Touch, that's Genesis, and then like Phil Collins, like In the Air Tonight.
Yes.
Gosh, what?
Of course, like
think of right now. There's another one that
Phil Collins
tip of my
does.
tongue, but I can't think of.
It's what's it called?
Yes, that's what
we're having a block right now. It's like it goes like, you know what I mean, right?
Yes, I know. It's exactly what I'm thinking of.
What's the damn song called?
God damn.
It's Another Day in Paradise.
Yes, yeah,
That's it.
that one.
You just witnessed the most real struggle that we ever had during production of everything we've done so far. Okay, you
I
left
did not think of Another Day in Paradise.
off the air. I'm gonna have to talk to you about this because you left a lot of stuff out. All right, number 7.
You don't know yet, but yeah.
Yeah, I know because
I
there's
said
like
some of those.
there's like 30 of them.
Yeah. Again, it's so hard to pick the best
yes,
10.
that's true. Number 7, that's the first real big name for me. It's the Beatles
Okay. I
because
do have those further down the line as well.
quantity top notch.
Yeah.
Probably one of the best bands of all time. How often do I listen to them though? At the moment, not that much. They might slip up again, slip up the list again. Like when I do like an all time, like in 30 years, like consistency, like on average, they're gonna be in the top 5
Yeah, so
right now.
I've
number
got them
7.
a bit higher, but I'll explain that once it comes up.
Gotta get the respect. All right, number 6.
So
let's go,
number
right?
6 is CCR for me.
You got CCR at number 6.
Yes, I know you've probably got them higher, but
I'm shedding a tear right now because CCR is that's my band, man. Those are my guys. John Fogerty.
I also like CCR, but just not enough for the top 5.
John Fogerty is probably my favorite singing voice I've heard all time. Like, also the band who it's also the band that I have the most songs of. Because there's really not a bad song produced by CCR, like rarely. That's what's so great about them. But I'm gonna get into it later. My number 6 is a band which you did probably not consider for the top 10. Is Runrig.
I assumed that they were going to come at some point.
It's surprising to you probably that's only number 6, but there's some up there, man. There's some big names up there. But Runrig is one of those bands. Similar to Latin Quarter, probably a bit better known than Latin Quarter. Like, Runrig's a bit bigger and they're still active and all.
Yeah.
But it's not music for everyone, I will admit that. But they have a couple of bombshell songs that are just outstanding. It's wonderful music. They're Scottish people. Scottish people are great. They're singing about Scotland because Scotland is fucking awesome, right? I like Runrig. He does not like it that much.
Not a huge fan. Some of their songs are decent, but they would probably not make the top 20 and probably also not 30 for me.
These guys dropped some fireworks. Like they really did. But alright.
Number 5.
I'm going to convince you at one point by force.
Number 5, I've got some that you already mentioned. The Beatles.
Alright, you got them at 5.
Yes.
So we're not differing that much. I mean, you got it like 2 spots higher.
Yeah, and for me that also is because, as we previously mentioned, the solo artists.
Yep.
So there are also some good songs in there as
You got
well.
Lennon, you got Harrison, McCartney. They all made music by themselves.
So taking both the Beatles songs as well as the solo songs, I think they deserve that spot.
Yeah, okay, I got them at 7. They definitely deserve a spot in the top 10.
Yeah,
and like I said, on average, like Greater Distance, they will be up.
For me, they probably would have been like 7 or 8 if we wouldn't consider the single songs, but taking those into account, they jump up a bit.
They will climb the board for me too. So at number 5, I got Queen. I got Queen and I guess Freddie Mercury's solo career, which I'm not that big on, but Queen like itself is
only song that I actually have in my list by just Freddie Mercury is Living on My Own.
Of course. Yeah. I do have that too, but see, that's like Freddie Mercury himself alone wouldn't have made the list.
But then it's like
great, but
then there's
Queen,
like 12 Queen songs or something.
Yeah, it's like Queen is like one of those legendary bands. It's like that's one of the type of bands that everyone knows. Like it doesn't matter what type of music you're into, Queen is something that everyone knows.
And I would argue that because of their huge range, there's probably also one Queen song that everyone at least somewhat likes.
Yeah, that's got to be "We Will Rock You," right? That's about the most famous song of all time.
It's not even one of my favorites, but
it's
yeah.
not even one of the band when you get more to Queen, right? But there's so many great.
I would
ones.
argue like there's something for everyone.
You got like a sleeper pick Queen song?
I don't think so. I mean, like all the ones that I really do like, I think are somewhat well known.
One that I really like is "Hammer to Fall."
Yes,
that's a great song. It's not one of their most popular ones, but it's a great song.
I mean, "Hammer to Fall" probably is like in my top 3 Queen songs as well.
Definitely.
I can't really make the list out of my head. But
that's list that we all have to do at some point. We're gonna get into the top 4, right? Is your number 4?
Yes, my number 4 is the Rolling Stones.
Alright, see, this is the thing, right? He told me like a bunch of time in advance. Like, he's been talking about the Stones a lot. We actually wanted to go to a Stones concert this year, but we didn't get any tickets.
Yeah, that was
sold out. They were sold out like after a day. I don't got the Stones in there because the quality and quantity is not, not of the type that I would consider for a top 10. But it's a great band and I love it. But
yeah, it's probably also one of those bands where I don't have that many songs of theirs in my playlist, but I always get hyped when one of their songs does come on. So
you don't like this. I don't always listen to the Rolling Stones, but if I do, it's damn good.
Yeah. Also, I think like also one of those bands where like basically like any situation you can throw a Stones song in there.
Yeah, sure. I don't get that feeling with the Stones at the moment, so I got them. I don't got them on the list. My number 4 is the Hooters.
Okay.
It's the Hooters because I've been getting into this band really well. Like, I started off just knowing the song Johnny B.
Yes.
That's pretty much all I knew, and that's the song that I had for a while. And then I discovered more and more, and these guys are like awesome, man. They are awesome. I mentioned in a previous podcast, I mentioned "Beat Up Guitar."
Yes.
Which is probably top 3 song. Then you got "Brother Don't You Walk Away," which is probably also one of my top 3 favorite songs. But these songs are like bombshells. They are outstanding, and the Hooters deserve the number 4 spot on this list for that, I believe.
For me, it was also the Hooters were also in consideration for my top 10 list, but they were also one of those bands that just barely didn't make it.
All right.
So
top 3.
Number 3.
Drum roll.
I'm not gonna do drum roll. So
neither is me.
A band that you already know is coming up because I've also already mentioned it. Simon & Garfunkel.
So you got it, man. 3. That's really high. I think that's really high for the quantity of songs that we really like of them.
It's the same songs for me than for you, as for you, but I really like those songs.
Yeah,
like,
but
for a long time I said that "Song of Silence" is my all-time favorite song. I've also
which I disagree with.
The week before.
Which I flat disagree with. But it was the same time when I had Beat Up Guitar.
Yes,
and we having an argument after the podcast. Listen, after the podcast was over, went off the air. Like, we was going in the kitchen to get us a sandwich, right? He was not giving me a fork as always, right? But we had this argument.
Why would you need a fork for a sandwich?
I don't need one. I'm just saying you didn't offer me one. Anyway, we was having this argument about like Beat Up Guitar versus Sound of Silence. So I'm defendant of the fact that the song Beat Up Guitar is better than Sound of Silence. People will disagree with me on that because it's like not as like, I don't know, legendary or whatever. But that's my opinion. I think you put them too high because you put them like you put 5 or 6 Simon & Garfunkel songs over like 25 CCR songs.
Yeah, but the thing is, for me, I would say, again, I haven't made a list, but like, I Am a Rock and Sound of Silence are probably both in my top 5 favorite songs, and easily in the top 10.
I'm a Rock would probably be my favorite song by them. Sound of Silence, not in the top 10 of my top 10 favorite songs, not even that. But I like them. I'm not complaining, of course. My number 3 is coming up, right?
Yes.
Is Slade.
Oh,
because Slade. Let me tell you about Slade, right?
I honestly, when we made the list, as I said, we made them from the top red. I kind of forgot Slade.
You kind of forgot.
They
Slade.
should have been like some. I mean, for me, they would have probably been, if I had remembered them, probably like somewhere in the like bottom 3 of the top 10. Right. But still,
Slade is the type of band that just grows on you. And you got the mysterious Mr. Jones sitting around the corner at all times, lurking on that spot in the top 5 best songs of all time, in my opinion, and I'm serious about that, is that good. And you got all those classics, and what I also like about it is they're underrated. Like, not everyone knows about the Beatles and the great songs that they produced, but there's hidden gems in bands like Slade. You got songs like Ruby Red, like I said, The Mysterious Mr. Jones. It's so underrated at some point, and that's why I found it important to put them on the list. And I really like them.
Yeah, as I said, they totally slipped my mind. They would have been on my list too if I had remembered them, but not nearly as high, of course.
Really, really good. All right.
So number two. Number 2, I've got a band that you all said lower. Got Queen.
You got Queen at 2. Okay, I could have expected that now.
Again, you mentioned Hammer to Fall.
Yeah, Quality and Quantity.
Killer Queen. There's like we mentioned We Will Rock You, and
Quality and Quantity is definitely is up there, of course.
There's a lot of variety in there.
Bohemian Rhapsody, man.
Yeah, Bohemian Rhapsody is like something completely different.
Yeah.
Like,
they could do everything.
Freddie Mercury had a huge range.
They could do everything.
And they did all kinds of music, and I like most of their songs.
Yeah.
And just because of the variety, they had to be up really high for me.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, I had them on 5 because I needed to push Slade in there because I'm hyped about him.
Yeah, sure.
My number 2 is going to be CCR. I mean, it was really predictable what my number 2 was going to be because I know what your number 1 is, and you know what my number 1 is.
Yeah. So, just by the fact that he hasn't been on previously, or they more accurately haven't been on previously.
That would have been a shock, though, if that had happened. Like, there's like when it comes down to the end of the day, there's no question about it. CCR is my number 2, by the way. Most songs of any band, like for a long time, would have been my number 1, and it'll always be in the top 3. Like, I'll put it in the bank right now. John Fogerty, favorite voice of all time. Could listen to him all day. But without further ado, right? Let's do this. We're gonna do this in unison, or we're just gonna do it like regular people.
We should do like regular people just so that
Bon Jovi.
We can't fuck it up. Yeah,
it's Bon Jovi.
It's Bon Jovi.
It's Bon Jovi. There's no other way around it, really.
Yeah. Also, a good amount of range. Not as much as Queen, but there is definitely a very decent range.
There is like the variety of songs that you could use Bon Jovi for is startling. Like, I can listen to him in the gym. I can listen to him when I just woke up. I can listen to him whatever I'm doing, like walking through college, whatever. I always have Bon Jovi with me, right?
Yeah,
that's always my go-to option. And they got like the type of song that just puts you into the next gear. They'll just hype you up that much more.
You're gonna say Unbreakable, aren't you?
Reliably. Not even that. Like, there's gonna be that many of them. There's like 3 of them that I listen to basically every day. Like, when I get out of class, when I go to lecture, one of those 3 songs I'm guaranteed to put on is Unbreakable, is Have a Nice Day, and it's We Weren't Born to Follow. Alright, and there's...
Okay, We Weren't Born to Follow over It's My Life.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And that's the thing, right? You got these second tier songs, like, for me, It's My Life, Live on a Prayer, which are arguably the most popular ones, which are still, top 20 caliber songs for all time.
Yeah. Like, probably like half my top 10 songs is Bon Jovi.
It's crazy, man. They are also so good.
What you mentioned for CCR with like the most songs of all bands.
Yeah.
Like, I have a few bands where I have quite a few songs of. Sometimes also depending on circumstances of how I got them, but Bon Jovi is definitely up there in number of songs and in the variety and quality.
John Bon Jovi, I'm gonna tip my ball cap to you, man, because your music keeps me like entertained throughout the day, and it keeps me going. And this, speaking of keeping it going, this podcast has been going for a long time, but we're not done yet.
Doesn't matter.
Love
talking about
music. We might breach the 1 hour limit for the first time. Which
is not a problem.
That's not a problem. I mean, y'all are gonna listen to it anyway and pay for it. Or are they gonna? They're not
gonna pay for it.
Okay,
stop charging money.
We do have the song of the week coming up, though.
Yes.
Shall we do this like I told him off the air that at the end of this segment, I might read off all the other bands and singles artists I considered for him to react to it once he finds out that they forgot someone. Are we gonna do it on the air, or are we gonna do it off the air?
I mean, as you said, the podcast has been, I think it's our longest one this far.
Yeah, let's do it off the air.
So let's do it off the air.
Let's get to the song of the week, and we have proposed a rule for that too.
Yeah, we said that because we were going to talk about our top 10 favorite musicians, we were going to pick a song of the week that is not by one of those artists that's in our top 10 list.
Exactly. Alright, so you do want to hit me?
Sure.
Let's go. What you got?
I've got Spin Me Around Like a Record by was You Spin Me Around by Eurythmics.
Alright. That's interesting. I would have never considered that type of caliber for a song of the week, though. It's not that good. I'm gonna flat out say that.
It's maybe not necessarily one of the greatest songs in if you look at it, but it's really, I think it is one of those songs that also hypes me up a bit.
Sketchy song.
Yeah, and just for that, I think it's worth it, and of course having the restriction kind of also limited the pool a bit, but it's still like a song that I really like. I mean, it's also kind of well known, which kind of means that I probably could have picked something better, but I just felt like putting it there. I mean,
sure, why
our
not?
songs of the week are not necessarily our all-time favorite songs.
It's a song of the week.
Good songs.
It's a good song that we
just want to talk about that week.
I'm always trying to get out a bit of some underrated songs that don't get appreciation that I believe they deserve.
Yeah.
And I will never have Living on a Prayer as my song of the week. That's never gonna happen. It's a great song. It's not gonna be a song of the week because I want to use this segment to boost some of the stats, because once we have like billions and trillions of subscribers, like we mention a song, people are gonna watch it, right?
Yeah.
Are there trillions of people in the world yet? No, they're not.
No, but you know.
We'll get there, right? I'm keeping it country today with my song of the week, and I'm going Copperhead Road by Steve Earle. This song,
good.
I'm going to say this right now. This song is not going to be for everyone. It's pretty hardcore country music, like country rock type of stuff. It's a good song, and it tells a great story too. Am I going to get into detail?
You may if you want to.
So it tells a story of a dude who's pretty much living, up the holler in an old countryside. I'm gonna stop the accent, by the way. And his family basically has a history of doing sort of illegal stuff, like his grandpa would make illegal moonshine, make whiskey during the prohibition, and he'd get in trouble for it and eventually be executed or like killed for it. His father basically took over that business, and they both suffered very bad consequence. And then the dude, I'm spoiling the whole song, by the way, but it doesn't matter. It's really
the story of the song really doesn't really.
Yeah, the dude tells the story of how he was in the army, in Vietnam, right? And he came back and he learned strategies of like how the Viet Cong would employ their war tactics, and then he started doing illegal stuff as well. He actually started growing weed on up the holler, where his father and his grandfather would do all that bullshit as well. He started selling drugs, and he kind of just tells a story about that. I'm not condoning drug use. I'm not condoning alcohol use or whatever. But it's a great song, and that's like, if you want to put up with country music, you're gonna have to put up with a lot of alcohol. Like, that's how it works. Like, I'm not a guy who likes alcohol. I use alcohol. I don't use alcohol, but I like country music, and alcohol is like, that's the thing in country music. That's the South. That's how that works. So not much I can do about it. I listen to the song, listen to his song, listen to all the other songs that we mentioned today and all the other bands, and Latin Quarter and Run Rick showed them some extra love, man, because they need it.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.